on a Saturday morning. What's the date? October 24th. We're a week away from Halloween. Where the hell is the time gone?
This is Halloween.
You want to sing? Go ahead, Ryan. You can start at the.
I can't sing. That's as far as my chops go.
We're supposed to have Faith join us this morning. We're not sure if she's still going to be joining us a little later. But we do have back with hopefully working internet for the full show, the lovely Jake Trowbridge. How are you, Jake?
Hi, guys. I'm back.
Hello.
Hopefully my internet's fine now.
He's back, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully we have Jake for the full show. We think we do. Doesn't seem to be any power outage. Looks like the sun's out.
I swear to God, Joe, if you
gaming.
jinx this, I'm going to reach through the screen and smack you.
Listen, my downside wide receivers haven't been jinxed since like week 4, so we're on a hot streak here. For those new, this is the Start Sit Different Day show. We briefly are going to recap Thursday's show as Faith joins us very quickly. I'm just going to go through and finish this intro as we get Faith in here. Brief recap of Thursday night. Your questions to help set your lineups.
Hi, Faith.
Hi, Faith. Joining in, Faith will be reading off your questions here. Some of the questions that we've had earlier in the week that you've either tweeted at us or you've tweeted at Ryan, Josh, Jake, Faith, whoever. And yeah, that's essentially how this is going to go. Briefly, though, before we get into anything, just to go over some of the injuries here heading into Week 7, Raheem Mostert and Zach Ertz both go to IR. They're going to be out at least 3 weeks, so it's not long-term. It is short-term IR. So fire up your potential Jerick McKinnon shares. Not this week, though. Just,
Exactly.
Yeah, not this week, but, for future weeks, because I believe Jeff Wilson Jr. is also questionable, and he is, as I look at our questionable here. Questionable for this week, Sam Darnold. He is trending towards playing, but he may see Joe Flacco once again. Aaron Jones, Justin Jackson, Jeff Wilson Jr., DeAndre Hopkins, Jamison Crowder, Curtis Samuel, Robert Tonyan, and Jordan Akins.
Real quick, Joe, they've come out and they've given us a new pronunciation for Robert Tonyan's name.
Oh, yeah, it's Tunyon. I did see this the other day.
Like bag of Funyuns.
Yeah,
So
it was
are pronouncing it correctly, okay?
Robert Tonyan.
That's stupid. It's an O, not a U.
It's like Tarad. He just never corrected us. Tarad.
That's right.
As Joe calls it, the COVID.
The COVID. The COVID virus.
The COVID.
The COVID. And Jordan Akins as well. Jordan Akins is trending towards not playing, so fire up your Darren Fells shares. Doubtful, Sam Ficken. A lot of you may be asking, who the hell is Sam Ficken?
This is a pro kicker show. I had to put
I was
him on
about
the
to say,
He is.
this has Joe written all over it.
He
No,
is.
Linda's happy
I put
right
it
now.
while thinking of Joe.
But here's the thing, right? If you want to bet that the Jets get shut out, they're currently missing their starting kicker.
Yeah.
Sam Ficken is doubtful, and Ficken has had a fairly good season. So, yeah. I mean, none of you have him in fantasy football, so just
Don't have him this week either.
just no Sam Ficken. Out. Joe Mixon, surprise out kind of. He was announced out yesterday. Michael Thomas as well. Emmanuel Sanders is on the COVID list. He hasn't caught the COVID. He's just been in the premises of someone who has the COVID. Sammy Watkins is out. John Brown, which pisses me off because it's against the Jets this week.
Gabriel Davis, baby.
Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley.
Every single Buffalo Bill you have.
That name might come up again later.
Yeah. Tyler Eifert also out. Austin Hooper is out. Dawson Knox is out. Who's Cleveland playing this week?
Cincy.
Your mom.
Faith, say it again. Say it again. See if someone in the back will laugh.
Your mom.
One thing I do want to throw out for those who
they'll
follow
laugh.
my streams of the week, Tyler Eifert was number 2 on that list. Unlike Jordan Akins, where you can just pivot to Darren Fells, do not pivot to James O'Shaughnessy. They're just going to freeze out the tight end. It's not going to happen in Jacksonville this week.
You mean the elite James O'Shaughnessy? The guy that every time Tony Romo calls the Jaguars game, he says, look out for James O'Shaughnessy. He's a quietly elite tight end. That James O'Shaughnessy? Ryan, how dare you shame his name?
No
The blocking tight end, James O'Shaughnessy. Yeah, no, do not fire up James O'Shaughnessy. All right, quickly, before we get into the rant that Ryan wants to go into about trade vetoes, just quickly from Gemmo over on Twitter, would you trade Tyler Boyd for Deebo Samuel? Now, this is interesting because Deebo did look good coming back on he's progressively looked better coming back from his injury. So how do we feel? I will start in the top left with Miss Faith. Faith, what would you do? Would
Hi,
you
I'm
trade?
here. Do I exist? Are you trying to take my job, Joe?
I was
Yeah,
already talking, and I just
I think we should
We're
put Faith
late,
in the middle.
so-
I just went for it. Faith, I'm trying to get you
Boom.
involved here.
Now she's the host.
Okay, so I would like some clarification. I would like to clarify some things here. I was late. Yes, there's fun fact. After drinking nothing but Truly since April, Jim Beam might not be a good idea the night before you have to do a podcast. Just
I refuse to believe that. I refuse.
And for some reason, I've got this like scratchy voice thing happening. I don't know. I'm just gonna Phoebe Buffet it and run with it.
I love it.
And I've been dealing with work things already this morning, so thank you very much.
Election season. That.
Okay, so we'll start with Joe. Go, whatever.
Me? Okay.
I'm gonna drink my coffee in my Christmas cup.
Man, God, do I hate that Jimmy Garoppolo situation in San Francisco. I think you do. I think Debo has probably more upside than Boyd. It kind of depends on who your other receivers are personally. I guess Faith, human resources is Josh, so I don't know if you really.
I'm
wanna take
human
that up the
resources
ladder.
because we fired Josh from
We had
human
to fire
resources
Josh after,
we did.
after
Okay.
a terrible tweet.
after a missing comma that just changed the phrasing of the entire thing.
Oh no!
Oh no, Jake, it was bad.
I'm not in on these things, but
It could have been
yeah,
let's
I would.
do this, comma, girl, and then it was just no comma. It just said let's do this, girl.
Yeah, that's a big change.
Because
Yeah.
sex. I would trade. I would trade for Debo, Gemmo. Yeah, I would trade for Debo. I like that. He has DK, Boyd, and Lamb. Yeah, DK and Lamb. You can put Debo Samuel as your third receiver. Yes, please. I'll take that.
Joe,
Yeah, I would-
whoever you are. Oh, we'll go, Jake.
Sorry, I
No,
didn't know.
It's okay.
the
It's
order.
okay.
Don't fire me. I have internet. I personally would hold on to Boyd only because, like, I know what Boyd's role is in that offense. Even with the new quarterback, we've seen what he looks like there. They're going to be shipping off somebody from that team, whether it's, I don't know, AJ Green, Auden Tate, John Ross, whatever. Boyd is secure in his role.
Yeah.
Debo, I love Debo. I do. I have no issues at all with either of these guys. It's just the known commodity for me more than taking the chance on Debo's upside.
Fair.
In any version of PPR, I'm not considering this trade. Bengals have the 5th easiest schedule for wide receivers the rest of the way, according to the Fantasy Footballer Strength of Schedule. And basically what Jake said, we know what Boyd's role is. He's going to see a ton of targets. Debo has a better chance to score. So if this is somehow a standard league, maybe. But if it's PPR, I'm keeping Boyd.
Josh.
Honestly, I'm keeping Boyd, whether it's standard or PPR.
Hi.
We know, like you guys said, we know exactly what his role is. Joe Burrow leads the NFL in passing attempts. This is a very bad team. That stat is not going to change anytime soon. Debo Samuel put up 6 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown with negative air yards. Like, that's not going to happen all of the time. But those negative air yards could very well happen all the time because Jimmy G's not throwing the football downfield. So you might get 3 catches for 8 yards. You might get 6 for 60. But Boyd is probably always going to get you 6 for 60. And that's where I want in my flex spot with DK and Lamb at the top there.
Boom.
Don't listen to me, I guess. That's the moral of the story here, I guess. Don't listen to me.
Never mind. Unless it's a Gaskin over Sanders debate.
Oops.
2 for 2 on last week's show. 2 for 2.
We're moving on.
2 for 2.
Also, hi, Jake.
Hi.
Hi to you.
Hi, Faith.
Welcome to the Sit Start Different Day shit show.
I'm happy to be a part of this particular shit show. Thank you very much.
Shit Start Different Day. That's what we should call it.
Start, sit, different day.
Whatever, Joe. Okay, so Sean has a question. Sean, our resident groupie.
Yes.
Is he crazy for wanting to start Giovanni Bernard in a half-point PPR league over Josh Jacobs? He's 2-4 and can't afford Josh Jacobs giving him a dud against the tough matchup.
You are not crazy. Tampa Bay locks up running backs. That is their specialty. Josh Jacobs has not seen more than 70% of the snaps since week 1. His 5 touchdowns have come in 2 separate games, 3 of them against one of the worst run defenses in the NFL in Carolina, and then against Kansas City a couple of weeks ago. You are not crazy. There is no competition for Giovanni Bernard in that backfield. He may get you 10 points alone in receptions. They're going to utilize him a lot, and clearly they trust Gio on the goal line because they gave it to him last week on the goal line, and he scored. Fire up Bernard. Better matchup. No question. Oop.
Oh. He said BRB. I was literally just responding back to it. But I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
we'll just go right around the room like we did before and go from there.
Yeah, so Jake, to you.
I will co-sign that 100%. It's just the opportunity that's there for Gio this week. And, like, I'm not starting Gio over anybody. I'm not getting crazy and putting him as a top 5 running back this week. But in this particular situation, hell yeah. I'm not going to take the chance on Jacobs either.
Ryan.
I'll stick with Jacobs. It's a good opportunity, but the Browns aren't a bad defense either. I was actually just looking. The Browns only give up 1 fantasy point more to running backs than Tampa Bay does, so there's not a huge difference there. And Gio's still Gio. Jacobs is still Jacobs. I'm going to lean on the side of talent.
Josh?
This is normally where I would scream to the walls, why would you be benching Jacobs? For me, though, this is the thing with Gio. The first, he'll start 2 games a year, and every single time the Bengals go out of their way to feed him 20, 25 carries, it feels like. And he's going to be involved in the receiving game. He's going to run the football. Ryan, like you said, Cleveland, they're decent against the run, but they're also not great either. They're very middle of the road. And when you get him involved in the passing game, which we've all wanted Josh Jacobs to be more involved in that, and he has been to a degree, but not to the degree that we want him to be. That being said, with a half point, I think I would still lean Jacobs, but I would not fault you for wanting to go with Gio. Let's put it that way.
Way to dodge the question.
I didn't dodge it.
It's a true politician right there.
Yeah, it's dodge that question. Come on. Gio. Honestly, Aaron Jones' saving grace was a touchdown last week. Josh Jacobs is not scoring a touchdown against Tampa Bay. He's just not. It's not going to happen. I'd be shocked if the Raiders put up 14 points.
The plus side for the Raiders is that their 4/5 of their line is off the COVID list because they were in danger of not playing, so they would have had all backups. And if that were the case, then yes, I would say fire up Gio with no hesitation. But they'll get just about everybody outside of Trent Brown back. So, I mean, missed practice time, probably not the best thing. Obviously, we know the Bucs run defense. So, like I said, I mean, I personally would lean on the side of talent with Jacobs, but I'll lean, it's going to be a toss-up for me either way. I just think that Jacobs has more touchdown upside because of who he is as a runner. With the half PPR, it doesn't inflate what Gio could do as a receiver.
So let me throw this out there. Aaron Jones had 26 rushing yards last week. Looking at what Josh Jacobs did in terms of what he averages when it comes to how many catches he has per game, because Giovanni Bernard is going to outcatch him. Josh Jacobs at the most has had 4 catches this season, and then he's strung together 4 straight games with 3 and then 2. So he's sitting at about averaging 3 catches a game.
Yeah, so that's extra 1.5 points.
That's extra 1.5 points. If I told you Gio was going to get you 6 or 7 which over doubles Josh Jacobs' PPR points. Looking at what Aaron Jones did on the ground last week, they're gonna average the same amount, except Bernard's gonna put up more points when it comes to receptions, combined with Jacobs' rushing yards and receptions.
Raiders average the same amount of targets to the running back as the Bengals do. I think you're way overstating what you think Gio could come out with in this game.
I think Bernard beats out Jacobs.
They have great wide receivers. Cleveland's bad against the tight end. I think this is more likely a Drew Sample game.
Now, genuine question here, Ryan. So they average about the same targets to the backfields, but how is that split up? Like, generally curious because with Gio in, I don't know who the other running back there would be to siphon away his targets necessarily.
Travion Williams.
It'll be Travion Williams.
and-
We just don't know if he'll actually do it. So the Bengals split 50-50. So if all of that goes Gio's way, then you are looking at an 8 or a 9 target game. But are we really banking that Gio is going to play every snap?
I say he's in there for about 75-80% of the snaps, which will be already more than Josh Jacobs.
Okay, can we move on now?
No, because this is a great question.
Okay, but we have lots of great questions, Joe.
Yeah, we do. We got plenty of time.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
Some of us have to work today.
Oh, okay. I don't.
Yeah, that feels like a personal attack.
Some of us have jobs, Joe.
Wow, weird. Thanks for shooting at me because I'm unemployed due to COVID. That's rude.
I mean,
So rude.
nobody else in the room has to work. I normally wouldn't have to work. It's just
Well, I mean, I had an unexpected week off, so
Josh got the COVID.
I'm sick. Boo you, whore. Go watch that movie.
Yes.
What the wrong? Oh, Joe, you killed it. Boo, you whore.
all right. So Sean, to sum up, Gio maybe has more upside. Jacob stay floor. You're probably right or wrong either way.
So start Giovanni Bernard or Josh Jacobs. You could be right or you could be wrong.
To be fair,
I mean, that's basically where this argument has gone.
Thanks
so.
for coming to the show.
that's fantasy football. You start who you think you should start, and then generally you're wrong.
Sean, start Giovanni Bernard. Please, for the love of God, start Giovanni Bernard. Trust me.
Remember, Gaskin,
November.
Sanders.
Sanders got hurt. Okay,
It doesn't matter.
Pump the brakes there.
Doesn't matter.
Throwing it out there. Okay. Lee has a question, but
Hi, Lee.
Jake, when we come to you, I'm going to need you to answer this as Christopher
God.
Walken. Okay, thanks. Antonio Gibson or David Montgomery in a standard. Can somebody please do that Mr. Miyagi hand thing to fix Mostert and
Mustard and
Eckler?
Eckler. That's funny.
Who are we starting with?
Josh, we'll give Jake some prep time.
Standard. Give me Montgomery.
Monty, Joe.
Damn, that's close. I would just the worst defense. The worst defense is Dallas, so I'm gonna go Gibson, just because the defense is worse on the side of Dallas than it is against the Rams.
Ryan.
Monty.
Yeah, I feel like Montgomery probably has the safest floor out of these two, so I'd lean on Montgomery.
That was good. I loved it. I loved
Well
it. That was
done.
great.
Well done.
Lee, yeah, I honestly, Montgomery's completely fine with me. I'm just going, if it's standard, they both to me have the same amount of touchdown upside. And I just think Washington probably scores more points than that entire game of Chicago and Los Angeles combined. So that's why I went with Gibson.
To touch on the second part, I'm seeing more and more people saying it's not a foregone conclusion that we see Eckler again this season. So if your
Definitely.
plan is getting Eckler back, you might want to start pivoting elsewhere.
Yikes.
That's tough. I mean, if the Chargers are contenders,
That's basically what it comes down to, is whether or not they're contending. So
because what are they now? They still haven't won a game with Herbert at quarterback, correct?
yeah, so they're 1-5.
I believe so, 1-5 because that they're bye this past week.
Yeah.
Damn. He'll get his win this week. I'm fairly positive he's
So
gonna
1
get
and
his win
4
this
because
week.
they've already
1 and
had
4.
their bye. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 and 4. Yeah, so I'm fairly positive he'll get his win this week.
I mean, we talked in the offseason. They had a very tough opening schedule.
Yeah.
And this is where it started to get easier. And this is kind of where we all thought that Herbert would start games was coming after that bye because the schedule was nice for him. So I think over the next couple of weeks, we could easily, or next 3, 4, 5 weeks, we could see them get 2, 3, 4 wins potentially.
Definitely. And Sean said he loved the Christopher Walken impression. So good call on that, Faith. Good
Thanks,
job,
Sean.
Jake.
Oh, it's only the first one.
It's only the first one.
And then I'll
I
load
told
up.
Jake. I
I'll load
prepped
up.
him.
I'll load up the next question because I want to say Jenna again, the ER nurse. We had her on last
Thank
week,
you.
so thank you for everything you do. Go ahead, Faith.
Oh, she's got 2 flex spots. Who should she start? Higgins, Debo, Mike Williams, or Rojo, PPR?
Ooh.
Rojo against the Raiders is a smash start for me.
Yep.
I like Higgins. I don't mind Debo this week. Little down on him against New England, but for me, this is Rojo and Mike Williams.
I'll just jump in because I completely agree. Those would be the 2 I would go with. Williams is I love everything about that matchup this week with Jacksonville. I think he eats, and you can't bench Rojo at any point right now.
Jake.
Yeah, Rojo for sure, and I'm not worried about Fournette if that becomes a thing. It's really between Higgins and Williams for me for that last spot. I don't know. I really do like what Higgins been doing these last couple of weeks and how much it's been escalating for him. So I would lean Higgins.
Okay. Ronald Jones. And my argument for Debo, if you want to fit him in your lineup, is he most likely is going to see Jonathan Jones, who has been known to give up big plays this season. I say Jonathan Jones because he normally travels with fast receivers. I don't think Debo will see Stephon Gilmore. He may see him for, X amount of plays, but I don't think he'll see him the whole game. That being said, I still go Ronald Jones and Mike Williams. I think Williams catches 5 passes for 150 yards and possibly 2 touchdowns. He's going to smoke that secondary.
Did somebody just say Leonard Fournette?
Yeah, so
Who's Jake?
this brings me to an interesting thing that happened to me this
Way
week.
to go.
I think everybody on this show agrees, but it's definitely a common thing is we have to stop trade vetoes in fantasy football, especially in any sort of private leagues. I can understand them in public leagues where you might be worried about people tanking and giving championships to someone else, but if there's no money on the line, I still don't care at that point. Just find a way to make your team better. But I was in an awkward situation this week. I have a team in a league that is full PPR, but it actually gives points for a carry as well. It's 0.25 for every carry. So it's a running back premium league because, you need running back premium fantasy leagues. I lost Miles Sanders and Joe Mixon, and then my backup running backs were Darrell Henderson and Malcolm Brown. Well, Henderson also was questionable, so I needed to make a move to get a running back. A guy in the week had said he wanted to move DeAndre Swift, and I think this is just someone who hasn't done their research because DeAndre Swift is about to take over that Lions backfield. So I offered to give up Darrell Henderson, who I did this on purpose because he has a lot of fantasy points, and this is the point I'm going to get to. Darrell Henderson, Leonard Fournette, who had one good game, but people are still banking on him doing something, and it was against Carolina, the worst team against running backs in the football. And then I had to throw in T. Higgins. Now, this is a team where I had T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. I didn't want to give up T. Higgins, but you have to remember running backs are more important in this league, and I needed a starting running back. And I got him to give me DeAndre Swift and Justin Jackson, who I think has a smash matchup this week. And because I have the thoughts on Austin Eckler that we might not see him this year, Justin Jackson is a great player moving forward. The commissioner texted me, and it's a commissioner veto league. The commissioner texted me that they didn't want to approve the trade because I was getting screwed. I proposed the damn trade.
Brian, he's just looking out for you.
In no way was I getting screwed. I am currently only 2-4 in that league, but I've never missed the playoffs. There's no way they thought I was tanking. I know what I'm doing. I don't flex this. I didn't text this back, but I've done more research than the rest of that league combined. It's bullshit. So don't come at me with I'm getting screwed when I know what I'm doing in an RB premium league. But the point I'm trying to make is not that I'm smarter than the rest of that league, and I am.
Because it kind of sounds like you. That's the point you're trying to make.
That's not the point he's trying to make. It's just a pleasant side effect.
The point I'm trying to make is they didn't like it because of the season's points didn't line up. Darrell Henderson has over 100 points in that league. DeAndre Swift is sitting at 80. Justin Jackson's only sitting at 30, whereas Fournette has 40. And then I'm throwing in T. Higgins, who has 70. And they said that I was giving up too many points. Do not judge a trade on past points. You don't get credit for past points. Those games are already played. Trades are about the future. And that was the stupidest reasoning I had ever heard. So one, get rid of trade vetoes. But two, if you're going to keep them, don't judge a trade on past points. There's a reason
play the games.
They play the games, exactly. DeAndre Swift is taking over that backfield. Justin Jackson's taking over that backfield. I knew what I was doing, and it just pissed me off that they said I was giving up too many points. Get out of here with that bullshit. Thanks.
I love that you offered the trade, and the guy was like, well, now, I don't think this is going to work out for you. That's like the checker at a grocery store taking your frozen pizzas and flinging them across the room. I don't think you really want to do that, sir.
Exactly.
I'm going to save you from making this purchase. What a bunch of bullshit.
So I'm going to step in here. As somebody who's fairly new to the trading aspect of fantasy football, I mean, brief pause. I'm assuming they know who you are, Ryan.
They do.
Okay, and what you do?
They do.
Okay,
100%.
so that's a little bit different. So to know who you are and what you do and the knowledge that you possess, and then to say that you're getting screwed is dumb. Anybody else, I'm awful still at trading and proposing trades. The worst. I literally asked like 6 people. So I kind of understand that. But then again, to know who you are and what you do, that's just dumb.
Yeah, I've had a trade vetoed, or not really vetoed, but I've had someone pull out of a trade because of how eager I was to make the trade because they said, I know too much, and if I'm that anxious to make the trade. That I'm okay with because that's just fucking hilarious to me. I'm still terrible at fantasy because we're all terrible at fantasy because it's luck. But anyway, it's luck and schedule for the most part. But don't veto my trade because I'm getting screwed. Let me get screwed, but even more so, let me be right. And thankfully, they pushed the trade through, so I was able to make the moves I needed to move. But because the other thing that I didn't even include in this was since it was a 3-for-2, I opened up a roster spot, and now I have A.J. Dillon as well. And if Aaron Jones sits, that's going to be huge for me this weekend. So.
Such a savvy fantasy man.
I know. I'm so fucking good. Don't question.
You know what my favorite thing about Ryan is?
My mustache.
His humility.
Self-proclaimed most humble man in the world.
I'm the most humble man on this show for sure, probably in the world.
On this show. Yeah, that's probably a valid statement.
I don't know about that.
No, I definitely am. I'm the best at being humble.
No, right there, the most humble of everybody.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think
I'm better at.
Fan. We're not good at being humble.
I'm better at being humble than anybody else.
All right.
I don't know. We got a Packers fan in the room, so
I had to eat a whole bunch of humility during
Packers
this
fans
draft.
are the nicest people on the face
They
of this
are,
planet.
Joe. They really are.
You are the first person I've ever heard say that, by the way. So thank you,
Jake. We went to a game at Lambeau Field. This guy who was Packers fan. We were dressed in Patriots gear. This guy comes back from getting a Coors Light and brings my dad a beer. Just, dude, we've been talking for like 20 minutes. So like, I didn't meet a single mean Packers fan. We were walking out of the stadium, and everyone's like, "See you in February." I'm like,
I heard that.
Beat us.
That's what I like to hear.
I heard that about.
Us.
I heard that about Eagles fans too, but they just pour the beer on you.
Sounds like
Very close, just a little different.
All right, we had a lot of questions come in.
That was the whole point of my rant, to build up questions. Let's do that.
that's the point. Yes, good job.
So going back to our friend Sean, Brady versus Vegas or Tannehill versus Pittsburgh.
Brady.
Yeah, it's got to be Brady for me.
I mean, Brady's the good matchup. I'm still not sitting Tannehill right now.
Brady.
Gibson or Drake?
And this is a PPR. Yeah, Sam followed it up. Kenyon Drake's going back into his burrow. Antonio Gibson.
I am also Antonio Gibson.
That's 3 for Gibson.
I would lean Gibson, but I don't love it. The McKissick snap share worries me, and it really caps Gibson's upside even in PPR.
And if Josh doesn't love something, you probably shouldn't take it. From personal experience. Standard, Traquan or Debo?
Traquan Smith. He's the only receiver in that offense.
That is a name that might come up later, so I will also say Traquan Smith.
Am I the only one weary about Traquan and what he did in his last couple of games when he was the de facto guy? I'm less
Sanders
smashed.
was there those games, though. He's not this week.
Yeah, I'm not real. That's more concerning to me because all the attention is going to be on Alvin Kamara and Traquan Smith, and literally, it's going to be a Jared Cook game for me. I think he's going to score like 18 touchdowns. I would actually be okay starting Debo this week.
I think Debo probably has more upside just because of how talented he is, but I don't know. The floor for me with Traquan is easier.
Yes, Joe.
You want to know New Orleans' wide receiver depth chart right now?
Sure.
Traquan Smith is listed twice, so
Wait, do you get both of those fantasy points?
I hope so.
Traquan times 2.
So our lads has Traquan as the number 1 wide receiver and the number 1 right side wide receiver.
Perfect.
Then it's Deontay Harris,
Yes. Keith
Marquez Callaway, and Taysom Hill.
Oh, shit. Taysom.
They have 4 active wide receivers. They will probably call someone up from the practice squad, but they have 4 active wide receivers right now.
And one of them's a quarterback, sort of.
One of them is a quarterback.
Sort of.
I'm just like, because Hill is listed as a quarterback and as a receiver. So
Well,
in
hold on,
reality,
though.
they have 3 active wide receivers with Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders being out.
Sean Payton didn't even need an excuse to give Taysom the Hill his ball as much as he could. Now he has one. It's going to be...
Yeah.
Ugh.
This could be a big Taysom
Every
Hill
play.
week. Also, Traquan Smith is playing a absolutely horrid Panthers defense.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me.
Yeah. I look, I mean, Debo,
They've been surprisingly good at limiting fantasy points to wide receivers. I mean,
Sure.
that to me really is their only saving grace because you can run all over them. Like, we all know this is going to be a huge Alvin Kamara week. Like, if
Oh my
he's
God,
not the
fat.
number 1 overall fantasy football player this week, something went seriously wrong.
well, that means Taysom Hill's cutting into his goal line snaps. So,
Don't you say that. Don't you ever say that.
Jake, it's just another normal day in the dome. Although, aren't they playing at LSU now?
No.
Oh, they're not. Okay, I didn't
No.
know if that went through.
Okay.
Next
speaking
question.
of- this is a non-football related thing. How weird is it that the World Series between an LA team and a Tampa team is being played in Texas? Sorry, that's just strange to me.
It's perfectly in the middle.
It's their bubble.
But
How about a Stanley Cup being played between a Dallas team and a Tampa Bay team being played in Toronto? Not even in the same country.
Perfectly in the middle.
well, Canada invented. Okay, so this next question, Jake Owen Wilson. That's not the one I meant to click on, but we'll go with it. Should I trade AB for Debo in full PPR?
Yes.
Yes, as quickly
Yes.
as possible.
Antonio Brown is going to do nothing.
Yeah, man, you got to take advantage of it while the option's there. Just go for it. I mean, you're going to look at this after the fact and be like, oh, wow, I even consider this? Crazy.
Love it. Fantastic.
Josh?
Yeah, I would take Debo. I have zero trust in Antonio Brown. So
Get off the Antonio Brown
What is
train,
behind
people.
you?
that would be Sedona's dog. That's
Okay, I just saw black shadows
And-
moving, so I'm like,
and-
what?
and Pikachu.
I mean, it is spooky season.
And Pikachu.
Hold on. So I have the next question from my brother because he actually typed it in the YouTube chat, But he's currently here in the room, so he's just going to come on the mic and ask it.
You can pop in on camera, G.
I appreciate the viewership, G. So just come right here and ask your question. And we'll answer it live.
Hello.
Here.
All right, so
Just
we got PPR.
Get up to the mic, sir.
Okay, sorry. I'm not a professional. Sorry.
Joe's not either.
PPR, we got David Johnson, Melvin Gordon, or DJ Chark. Got to start one of them.
David Johnson.
Yeah, after what Rojo did, kind of got to go David Johnson.
You
Yeah,
guys
that matchup's
definitely
too good.
Look like brothers,
Thank you.
except he's got more hair.
Yeah, he gets a perm, so that's why. Yeah. You think I'm lying? Like, why would I lie about that?
Because you're his brother?
He gets a
that sounds
perm.
like something that you would lie
It's a
about.
perm. It smells like shit.
I feel like that's something that Josh would say about Kyle. So
No, he legitimately gets a perm. It looks good. He's got curly, fluffy hair. It looks
It
good.
does look good.
It
You
is
cannot
good.
dispute it.
Our
It looked
dad's
great.
bald, so we gotta love it while it lasts,
There you
right?
go. Do something with it.
Literally looks like a disco ball if you shine light on it the right direction.
all right, our resident club fantasy attorney,
Hey.
Hi, Chris. Congrats on the
Yes.
bar passing,
Yes, congrats
Antonio
again.
Gibson or Mike Davis, full PPR.
Mr. Michael.
Yeah, I'll go Mike Davis.
Yeah, there's no way I'm sitting Mike Davis right now.
Yep.
He's on fire.
Yep. Especially with New Orleans being bad against tight ends and Tampa and Carolina not utilizing tight ends. I think Josh or Ryan had said it on Wednesday's show. It's going to be a Mike Davis week because they don't utilize the tight end in that offense.
Yep.
So, yep. We're flying through these. Let's keep it up.
Yeah, questions are carrying this show.
Yes,
Thanks,
I
guys.
love it. Keep them coming.
Trade Brady for my wide receiver 4 or 5 Lamb, or I'm guessing Marquise Hollywood. His wide
Yeah,
okay.
Marquise Brown. Yep.
His wide receiver 3 is Cobb, non PPR, and I lost Dak. You guys can decipher that.
So I believe he's trying to trade for Tom Brady. He's
He's with Lamb or Brad. Okay, is he throwing in Lamb
Oh,
or
okay.
That's what I'm assuming.
If you can get Brady for Hollywood Brown, I would do
Yes.
that in a heartbeat. But
But
no
do
way
not
in
trade
hell-
CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah,
no
do
way
not
in
trade CeeDee
hell
Lamb.
am I giving up CeeDee Lamb for a quarterback.
yeah, Brown for Brady, definitely.
There's such a gigantic gulf in between those two names
Yes.
of CeeDee Lamb and Hollywood Brown.
It's rude.
Okay, Issa wants to know: would I be crazy to trade away someone like Eckler for AB in a redraft?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't trade for AB. If you, I don't
And
have
I
a
know
problem with. Yeah, I don't have a problem with you moving Eckler, but you can get back a far better return than Antonio Brown.
Yes, please get someone better than Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I mean, we touched on it earlier, and Ryan, I believe you brought this up. There's a chance that Eckler maybe doesn't come back.
Yeah.
So if you've got literally no takers, and Antonio Brown is the best return you can get,
Then go for it.
I'm not opposed to it.
And then
because
turn around and
he's
trade
going to-
AB.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, and then turn
Yes.
around and trade
Big
AB.
time.
Yeah, I mean, look, AB's going to have weeks that are flex worthy. He's probably going to have weeks that are top 12. I don't think any of us are going to debate that.
Yeah, I was looking into this yesterday. He's eligible to play week 9, and their bye's not till week 13. So you'll have 3 weeks of him stepping on the field where you can maybe move him before they hit their bye week. So
Yeah, because after that, you know exactly what's going to happen. That first week, it's going to be the same thing that happened when he played Miami.
he'll score a
Brady is
touchdown
going
first
to
drive.
pepper him. He's going to absolutely pepper him. We in the fantasy community are going to go balls to the wall. Oh, AB's back. He's a top 5 wide receiver.
I
And
know.
you're going to see some of the most outrageous trades for this guy.
Yep.
That is going to be his absolute peak maximum value.
Yeah, I won't be going crazy because I know what that offense is. But ISO, after I guess we answered that Debo for AB question, he said he's about to get roasted, so he didn't want to ask it. Don't worry, ISO. No, they bring up a great point. Shop Eckler for something better, but if no one is willing to give you anything because Eckler's hurt and may not come back, get AB, turn it around, and get a king's ransom for him once he pops off and gets 2 touchdowns in his return.
Take a shot at the DeAndre Swift manager. I'm telling you,
Yes.
there was a quote that came out this week that after the bye week, they wanted to get him more involved. It was time to cut him loose. I think we are going to see big things out of DeAndre Swift to end this season.
Okay, so not actually a question, but Cooter, first of all, Homegirl is hilarious.
Love
Love
Cooter.
her.
Yes.
Follow her on Twitter if you are not already. She's tempted to start Latavius.
I
Did she
would.
say something else in here that I missed, or is this just?
Oh no, her most recent comment, because we absolutely need to put that on the board.
Is Joe's bros perm or Antonio?
I'll trade AB for a perm.
That perm has way more upside, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going G's perm.
Give me the
perm.
perm.
Yep. G's perm. That's the key right there.
That
was the question that he asked. Yeah.
Well, it's like skipping. It's weird. Okay, fine.
There we
James Robinson or Justin Jackson, full PPR.
Jackson.
This one is so close for
It
me
is
because
close.
Robinson's been good, but I think Jackson's gonna repeat what DeAndre Swift did last week. Obviously, I'm in love with DeAndre Swift right now. Justin Jackson should have a good week. So.
Yep.
It's so close. I do love James Robinson, but also it's not like he's been blowing everybody out of the water these last couple of weeks, so I'd be Jackson.
Yeah, the Chargers' rush defense has gotten a lot better with Kenneth
And have
Murray.
not allowed a rushing touchdown yet to
There you
running
go.
backs.
Yeah,
so.
I would lean Jackson, but it is close because Jackson's still going to yield short yardage situations to Kelly.
Exactly.
Robinson is the guy there in Jacksonville.
The biggest worry is that this game becomes a blowout because that's where you're going to see Kelly more involved. So
True.
Okay.
Very true.
Christian Kirk or Chase Claypool, full PPR. I'm playing against Joe, so he can't answer.
Remember, guys, if you give him the wrong answer, you each get a little tip. I think I'm the lead dog in this entire league. It's my dad's league, and this is actually my dad's high school buddy who played football with. This is his son. So he's taken over his dad's team, and I have obviously had my own team in this league. So yeah, we always go at each other.
God, it's
I
so
know
hard
who
to
I
tell.
would pick. I know who I would pick.
All on board Christian Kirk this week.
Yeah,
He's been trending
he's
up.
Seattle.
He's been trending up the last 3 to 4 weeks. I love Claypool this week, but here's the biggest thing. With Deontay Johnson back, we do not know how this offense is going to work because Deontay Johnson was their leading target receiver in the first couple weeks of this season.
Yeah.
Him now coming back with the emergence of Claypool, do they go right back to what was? Because, I mean, they were still winning games then, too. Now they're winning games with Claypool, and both of them can handle it. The one thing I know for certain, Juju might as well just get traded to Green Bay right now because he ain't going to do crap in Pittsburgh because there's nothing there for him anymore.
And they're not going to pay him. So.
Yeah. So I would say your max upside is probably Claypool, but Kirk has a higher floor with still good upside. So I think I would lean Kirk in that situation.
I would still want Claypool just because I would feel like an asshole sitting him while he goes off for his 100+ yard, 2 touchdown day. It's just so much. And the thing is, like, yes, Deontay Johnson is coming back, so you definitely do have to worry about that a little. But they've seen what Claypool can do, and you would just be foolish to not keep feeding that guy a certain healthy amount of targets per game. So I think the coaching staff is too smart there to not keep him involved. You know, this isn't one of those bullshit teams where it's like, oh, they're not going to look at the recent kid do his thing and they're just going to go back to their old ways. I think it could easily be, you know, I mean, like a 50-50 split basically between Deontay and Claypool, but I still just want that upside so hard.
And I was looking into their snap counts last week. They run a ton of 3 wide receiver. It's James Washington who's really going to suffer in this entire situation.
Yep.
I think if it's a close matchup or if I was projected to win, I'd go Claypool. If you're projected to lose, I would go Kirk. I think there's a chance Kirk blows up this week. So
Keep sending them mixed signals, guys. That's exactly what we're looking for.
Okay, Joe.
Don't give them a straight answer.
The thing that I think Pittsburgh should do is, like, over the first couple drives, just absolutely hammer Deontay Johnson with targets and make the defense think that Claypool has become nothing. And then they're going to hit Claypool for like a 95-yard touchdown catch or something.
Boom.
And they're going to be like, oh, crap. Yeah, why'd we forget about Mapletron? Like, what are we doing? Yeah.
Joe.
But keep in mind, too, DeAndre Hopkins is lingering issues with, I believe, his ankle.
Yeah.
So if he's a game-time decision, maybe doesn't play, that elevates Kirk even more. I'm sorry, Faith. Just wanted
Yes,
to put that
Faith.
in there.
You done? because that's the second time I started to say something and you interrupted me. Are you quite finished?
I'm here, Faith.
Joe,
Faith.
you weren't playing Zach this week. I need an honest answer. What would you tell him?
No, if I'm playing Zach this week. In all honesty, regardless of who he starts, he should smack me because every single one of his guys have a way better matchup than I do. So, like I have a few guys that I'm confident in, but in all honesty, he should absolutely rail me this week.
I say we didn't ask the obvious question. Why not both? Who are we starting over both of them?
Tyler Lockett, Robbie Anderson, Chris Carson, Aaron Jones.
Never mind. Yes.
That's what I'm telling you. He's going to destroy me this week. Like that's my point. It's Kyler Murray against Deshaun Watson. To me, that's kind of a wash. Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, DJ Moore, Chris Carson, CeeDee Lamb, Christian Kirk, coin flip. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, coin flip. Travis Fulgham, Robbie Anderson, Darren Fells or Robert Tonyan.
Tonyan.
Kenny Clark or Brandon Graham, wash. Bobby Wagner, Avery Williamson, Bobby Wagner, Justin Simmons, Buda Baker. He's like 7 out of the 10 names I listed are in his favor. Yeah, no, I'm screwed because I have Dalvin Cook, Miles Sanders, who was hurt. Cook's on a bye. Who else? Robert Woods is hurt. Dallas Goedert's on IR. Yeah, my team is riddled with injuries. I'm surprised I'm 4-2 in this league. Yeah, he should beat me regardless of who he plays, but I would go Christian Kirk. He's going to smoke that defense.
Hell of a team you've built.
Jake, are you from Wisconsin?
I am from a little state called Iowa originally.
Where's that?
It's not going to be on any map, so don't look for it.
The United States?
It's there.
Iowa. Are those the people that wave at to the
Yes.
kids in the hospital?
Those are the same.
Iowa Hawkeyes, baby. I love that. I love that they do that.
It is pretty sweet. I don't particularly care for the Hawkeyes, but that is a fantastic tradition.
It's a cool thing.
Do you live in Wisconsin?
Yes. So I live in Wisconsin, and I disavowed everything about Iowa as soon as I crossed the state line.
You heard it here. Fuck Iowa.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I do not.
Iowa Trowbridge.
I am Joe Zolo, and I do not approve that message to all of our Iowa listeners. I apologize for Ryan's
Well, we got the
outburst.
Midwesterners on the bottom, so I'm sure there's some kind of rivalry to speak of there. so.
Ohio's not the Midwest.
It is.
It's considered the Midwest.
The hell are you then?
Geographically, it's not the Midwest.
But it's
But
just
in
in the Midwest. It
terminology-
touches one of the fucking lakes. What do you mean it's the Midwest?
So does Wisconsin.
We're the heart of it all.
I was gonna say Wisconsin's up north. It's considered the Midwest.
Jake, look at the middle of the United States. Wisconsin is in the middle.
No, you
Look
don't
at
have to
Ohio.
explain maps to me. I understand
What?
how maps work. I'm just
Ohio
saying,
isn't the
technically-
Midwest.
Technically,
Oh
these
my
are Midwest
God.
states.
It's not, but it is.
Who are these idiots making
Hey,
this
it's-
shit up?
They're from the
Okay, the
Midwest.
Dallas Cowboys play in the NFC East. Dallas isn't in the East.
Josh,
We've learned long ago that the geography makes 0 sense to American
Josh,
people.
Geography is an illusion, you guys.
Exactly.
Yes.
Josh, I'm just saying that's like Ohio in the Midwest is saying like Florida is a northern state. Like that just doesn't add up.
I mean, it's full of
Florida's
Northerners, so you
southernmost
could
state of the
convince me
union.
that.
Next
Florida
question.
is the southernmost state of the union. Jake, what are your thoughts on Spotted Cow?
It's great. It's a crushable beer. But I will say, after having lived in Wisconsin, because this is like a Wisconsin beer, it's the Wisconsin beer. People ask me to bring 6-packs to them all the time because it's only sold here. It's ridiculous. It's just like a regular ass cream ale. It's nothing exciting. But yeah, it's kind of overrated. I'm just going to say
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, screw
drink it.
Spotted
Overrated.
Cow.
Yeah.
I've never had it, but the people that I know who live there or who have visited there are like, "Oh my God, Spotted Cow!"
It's the novelty.
They're all like that.
Probably.
Can we go to Jenna's question on Periscope real quick? Because
No.
I found that
You
it's
can
just a
talk
quick
about it.
question.
No,
She's our ER nurse.
he asked this.
Oh. Faith hates ER nurses. You heard it here.
Oh man.
It's just Sean. I know you're here with us the whole time. I think Jenna may have to go do work, so it's quickly because I laughed. Will Michael Thomas ever play this year?
Oh, he's pulling the AB treatment. He got his money, and now he's trying to blow everything up.
I
He'll
think
play
he
again
will.
this year.
I think he will, but he's going to get all of his temper tantrums out of the way first.
Yeah, he'll play again this year. Okay, Sean, back to you.
You know what? No, we're gonna skip that question. We're
Oh,
gonna because this one is interesting to me. It's to me, it's Alvin Kamara. Is there anybody who says it differently?
I say Kamara.
I say
People
Kamara.
say Kamara, but I say Kamara.
I've said it both ways, and I'm ashamed to admit I still don't know which is the correct way.
No one knows.
Did
No
we
one
ever
knows.
get clarification on the Miami Dolphins tight end?
Who?
Gesicki?
Gasicki or
It's good.
Gasecki?
I believe it's both ways.
I say J.
Gesicki.
Oh my God, you're throwing a whole nother element.
Gesicki? Get out of here.
For
Get out of
Jeff.
here. Ryan, you're fired.
Well, because Faith got on me the one show because I apparently pronounced it 3 different ways while answering a question, so I just have no idea.
I saw a
Gesicki.
tweet yesterday that was like, what if God just came down and was like, it's pronounced
It's John. I was doing a show, I don't remember who it was with, but I kept saying Kamara, and then they said Kamara, and I was like, oh shit, am I saying this wrong? Like, it threw me off completely.
Here's my thing. If we pronounce it incorrectly, I don't care. But write it correctly. That's my biggest issue is like everybody that is writing fantasy articles or even just tweeting out player names and can't figure out how to spell Devontae Adams and Devonta Freeman, it annoys me to no end. It's like, how can you attract readership if you can't frickin' spell the names correctly?
Google's right there, you guys.
Thank you.
Google.
Right.
What's Google?
So annoying.
I even had that in Iowa, Joe. Come on. You know what Google is.
You have that in Iowa. That's true. Very true. Oh, also, just quickly, because I don't know if I said it on Wednesday's show, I beat my dad in fantasy football last week, and if
I
he's
was wondering
watching,
how that went.
sorry, Dad. His team name, Morning Woodhead, beat down on Orchids of Asia. That's all I'm going to say. No laughs? How are you guys not laughing?
Because Morning Woodhead is a very played out pun.
Yeah, is it? But what about Orchids of Asia?
I don't know what that means. I'll be honest.
Oh, my
either.
God.
I also don't know what it means.
See,
People.
we're apparently too old. So
Okay.
Guys, where
What's
did Robert Kraft get his little rub and tug?
Oh.
Orchids of Asia?
Yes, it's the name of the spa. You people. Oh, you disappoint me.
that was in and out of the news so quickly that I didn't.
You disappoint me.
Okay, I was listening to how to pronounce Alvin's name. What'd you say, Joe?
How to pronounce Alvin Kamara? I would just.
Kamara. He says Kamara.
It's Kamara. Yeah, it's Kamara. What was I saying? Oh, I was saying that my dad's team name is Orchids of Asia, and I was getting very mad that people didn't know what Orchids of Asia was, and now Faith obviously knows because she's a Patriots fan and just laughing.
Hold on a
Very-
second. Didn't we all say Kamara?
Yeah, but Alvin says Kamara.
But then,
Alvin Kamara,
then
Alvin
Joe was just
Kamara.
like, yeah, it's Kamara.
Fuck,
Like,
they're the same thing. They're the same thing.
No, we're not.
I quit.
I kept a foot in both sides, technically, so I could remain 50% right.
I'm glad you were right, Jake.
I hate it. I hate this.
Lads, what is your confidence in Gio Bernard this weekend?
Apparently,
15.
for Joe, it's off the charts.
Top 15. Remember when I said Myles Gaskin was going to be better than Miles Sanders last week, and Gaskin ended up like a top 10 running back?
I found it, Sean.
Gio's going to be top 15. Seriously, he will be a top 15 running back.
I don't
He's
think
the-
that's out of the realm of possibility. I really don't. Just
and
because,
it's-
like, Travion, I don't know what they're going to do with Travion.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's like if Gio needs a breather, they'll bring in Travion Williams. But two, if we're looking at the running backs from last week, like single-digit points was top 24.
So that's actually what I was just doing because I think he's looking at about 15 fantasy points, and 15 would have put him at RB11 last week with what Joe Mixon did. So, yeah, I guess top 15.
It's like I don't know what it was like, whether it just be the teams on bye weeks or anything. But last week, running backs sucked. Like there was just
It was a bad running back.
was
week.
a
There was only, I
terrible-
think, 4 that scored over 20.
yeah, like was Aaron Jones had 14 points and he was like RB 18. Like that shouldn't happen. He should be outside the top 20 at that point. There was 5 guys that scored over 20 points, and James Conner was RB6 with like 19. Not a good week for running backs, and I think that continues this week.
I would like someone to put the next comment up on the board.
I'm actually going back in time.
No, I want you to put the next one.
It's from ISO as well.
You're not my boss, Ryan.
This should honestly be a quick one. It's Ronald Jones' backfield. Don't trade him.
Well, it depends on what you can get.
I was just about to say, nobody is untradeable, in my opinion. If you're getting good enough value, absolutely.
So
But
is this a good time to do it? Absolutely. There's so much hype around the Buccaneers right now. You don't know what Fournette's going to be when he gets back. This might be the peak time to trade him. You might end up regretting it if he's just going to be a 100-yard back every damn game this season. But if you get the right value back, absolutely.
Okay, so Ryan wants to put this up, but I would like to.
Just for the first part. I don't care about why I'm
I
right.
would like to preface it by saying this still doesn't answer anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care. I just the first 2 words are my favorite words in the English language.
Like, but see, Ryan's just so humble. Again, this doesn't explain anything. Ryan's
I didn't-
right. Okay,
I didn't read the rest. I stopped at Ryan's right.
Like,
I'm right.
is it Gesecki? Is it Jusecki? Is it Jesecki? Like,
I think what we've settled on is that it's Seki, not Sicky.
I think the most important part of this is that I'm right.
all right, standard league. Pick 4. David Johnson, Antonio Gibson, Giovanni Bernard, or James Robinson.
David Johnson and James Robinson.
You just beat the drum for
Not
Giovanni
this is
Bernard.
standard. This is
Josh, look at the first 2 words of the question.
Yeah.
I'm not Ryan. I don't do that. I look at the rest
Yeah.
of it.
Oh, fantastic. It's a standard league. If this is PPR, I'd say Giovanni Bernard. But it's not, so it's David Johnson and James Robinson, because of the touchdown upside, you lean David Johnson and James Robinson.
Yeah, it's just
that's that
workload,
simple.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's workload. Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
Who's going to get more touches? David Johnson and James Robinson are probably going to get more touches.
Oh, David Johnson, absolutely.
He
James
is
Johnson,
my
absolutely.
running back 2 this week. Spoiler alert in
Love it.
standard. Because, yes, Camario is going to get everything for the number 1 spot, but it's DJ is number 2. I don't know who else you could even put for there in that number 2 spot.
I'll have to change my scoring to see who my standard guy is.
Gasicki. Haha, I win.
Sicky?
Gasicki.
Guh?
Guh?
Can we just agree to call him G-Sick from now on and move the hell on?
I like it.
Mikey
I'm here
G.
for that, Jake. G-Sick.
Mikey G.
Okay.
Sicky. Oh, that's terrible. I don't
Sean
like
needs a contingency plan in his full point PPR in case Crowder doesn't play. Does he waiver claim BMW or AGJ?
And
Who is BMW? I was like, I'm racking my brain on this one. Like, whose nickname is this?
Big Mike Williams? Is that,
Maybe?
is that a thing?
if you could pick up Mike Williams on waivers,
Yeah, I would absolutely. Do that.
What is this?
I'm sure
this-
AJ Green. That is what I'm
Probably.
assuming that is.
AJ Green is not the answer. So whoever BMW is, he's probably the answer. And if it's Mike Williams, he's certainly the answer.
Sean, who is it?
who is BMW? This is making me mad. Who is BMW? Let me
Joe,
go
don't you have text him?
I don't have Sean's number.
I thought Sean was your buddy. Aren't
I
you?
don't know
BFF?
Sean.
Like
Let's just
everybody
let me
No,
type
He's
Sean
a
is-
loyal listener. We
Yeah,
love
Sean
him.
is tremendous friend
Yeah.
of the show.
Like it's just
I am
BMW. Like
I'm trying to think. Is there somebody nicknamed BMW that I'm just like?
Big Mike Williams.
Big Mike
Okay.
Williams.
Okay.
I would not have been
Nice.
able to sleep tonight if we did not get that answer.
Yeah, no,
Thank you, Sean, for
Sean.
chiming in.
Sean, Mike Williams. I don't know how he's on waivers, but pick him
Absolutely,
up.
Mike Williams.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how he's on waivers, but pick him up. Definitely, Mike Williams.
I
No
did-
doubt.
Just to let you know, Sean didn't make that up.
Yeah, I believe him.
I believe it.
I never heard it before. That's all.
Okay, gentlemen, it is 11:59. You guys can continue on, but before I leave, I have to ask you my question. You guys can continue,
Oh,
but then
yes,
I have
of
to go to
course.
work. You guys,
Let's
can
do it.
Okay, so Jake, the first time we ever did this show, I surprised them by asking them a question, put them on the spot. I enjoyed putting them on the spot. They didn't enjoy me putting them on the spot.
I was
Now
fine with
they've
it.
done research.
I didn't do
So,
research.
My last puppers.
And we have been sidetracked.
Okay.
Okay, so I
What the hell?
Okay. Right,
that
go.
was my alarm telling me it's new.
Okay.
It's the Monster Mash, by the way.
Did the monster mash.
Exactly.
The monster
It's
mash.
spooky season. Okay, so I asked Josh, who is a low rostered running back that people should pick up this week?
So I came up with two as I was helping Kira go through her prices for her DFS picks this week. The first one, we've harped on him a lot this show, Giovanni Bernard. He won't be low rostered though, but he is insanely cheap. He's under 5,000 in both DraftKings and FanDuel.
We're not talking DFS. We're talking regular people.
Oh, we are.
In the show doc notes, it said low rostered / cheap DFS running back. So yes, we are talking DFS.
I made your question better, Faith. You're welcome.
For the record, he is rostered in only 64% of leagues, so he's still available. Like not in more than half, but he's still available.
Yeah.
So,
and then the other guy that I pointed out was Zach Moss. Recently came back from injury. Didn't look great last week, but going against the Jets defense, that cures all ailments. So I would not be surprised if both he and Devin Singletary have good weeks. He also is very cheaply priced in DraftKings. I believe he's like 3,900, a little more expensive in FanDuel, but still you can make good lineups with him in it at a very cheap price.
Ryan, you didn't make my question better. You changed it to your question.
Ryan, you're an ass.
I'm the best at being an ass, though.
Well, your main competition's sitting here in a fucking Bucky's one.
But
Ryan.
At wide receiver, I have two guys that are benefiting from late week injuries and players being out. So Traquan Smith, we already touched on. They lose their their best two wide receivers are out. So it's going to be a big game. I do agree for Jared Cook. It's obviously going to be a huge Kamara game. But I think Traquan is likely to see 10 targets because I do think this is going to be a high scoring game as well. The other one is Cole Beasley with John Brown out. They're going against the Jets. This game could end up being a big running game in the second half, but I think for the first half, you're going to see a ton of Cole Beasley involved. The great thing about Smith is they were on bye last week, so there's a very good chance he was dropped if he was being held in a lot of leagues. So there's a chance he's sitting there free in a standard league right now or in a fantasy league right now, and then he's not a bad play for daily. And then Cole Beasley I actually like a lot. And I think we could see him getting in the end zone once or twice this week.
Okay, Joe, before you answer your question.
Did you see Cooter's tag on Twitter?
No, I did not.
Oh, well, she tagged us, and it is Kamara.
Yep.
Oh, no, I told you that.
Yeah, we settled on Kamara and Gesicki.
Well, no, he said Kamara.
Did he say Kamara? I don't fucking know at
said
this
it.
point. I give up.
There's a
I give up.
video of him saying it. He says Kamara.
I'm going to call
I
him
thought
Alvin
you
the
just
Chipmunk.
said it was Kamara.
I'm calling him Alvin the Chipmunk. He's Alvin the Chipmunk now.
All right, Joe.
To me?
Yes, to you. I need low rostered. I need a linebacker.
You need a
Right.
linebacker. Okay, well, I had a defensive lineman picked up, but I will give you a linebacker. I have Jeffrey Simmons going up against Pittsburgh this week. In the 4 games he's played, 3 of them he's scored over 9 points, and he's had a sack the last 2 weeks he's played. And then also I gave Faith Emmanuel Ogbah against the Jets last week. Give me Ed Oliver against the Jets this week. Emmanuel Ogbah had 5 tackles and 2 sacks, 27 points in the league that Faith was in. But if you're looking at linebackers, there's always a good amount of linebackers out there. If you want a guy who's going to be able to rush the passer and get you sacks, Aldon Smith is that guy. Some people may have been weary on him because he hasn't been putting up big numbers the last few weeks. He actually hasn't had a sack since week 3 against Seattle. He's playing Washington this week. See Aaron Donald.
Okay.
That's
So while you're here, I can pick
I'm
up
here.
Ed Oliver, but I need to drop somebody.
fantastic. Who drop Emmanuel Ogba?
Okay.
Emmanuel Ogba was good for playing against the Jets.
Is that it?
Yeah, drop Emmanuel Ogba. That's it.
All
It's
right.
very simple. He's on a bye this week.
I know that.
No one is scramming to pick up Emmanuel Ogba. I can guarantee you that, unless they
Okay.
listen to this show.
I still need a linebacker, but Simmons is not available.
Who is not? Alden Smith is not available.
No,
KJ Wright against
No.
Arizona.
the first one you told me.
Who's the first one I told you? Jeffrey Simmons was a defensive lineman, so he's not going to be a linebacker.
Well, you never gave me. Well, then you started backwards.
I said Alden Smith and KJ Wright.
I feel like we just need to have our own conversation in the private
Yes,
chat.
I said
Jake
Alden Smith
Ryan,
and
'cause
KJ
We were
Wright.
just like, this is.
Woo! Can we please add IDPs and make that standard? It is way more fun than team defense.
I started my first IDP league this year. I had no idea what I was doing when we started drafting, but the good news is I still have no idea what I'm doing.
This is why Faith comes to me. I got her Foya Luakan in Emmanuel Ogba last week, and they
Bless you.
smacked
So
last
to be
week.
fair, I already had Ogba in that league, but you did give me Foya Luakon.
I convinced you to start Emmanuel Ogba.
Okay, so both of those linebackers that you suggested are rostered by somebody else.
Well,
So
that's tough.
I'll hit you up later. Gentlemen, you
Bye,
can figure out
Faith.
something for Jake to add. It's been delightful. Cooter says that Alvin's mom says it differently. So
Yeah, she's
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Alvin-
We have no idea still.
Alvin the Chipmunk, ladies
So all
and
that tells me
gentlemen.
is that we're just going to continue to argue about how to pronounce his name. Okay, cool.
Mr.
Thanks.
Chipmunk. We'll call him
among
eight.
other things,
We'll call
It
him
is what
what number does he wear?
41.
41.
AK-41. That's what we're calling him.
Oh, very nice. Weirdo.
I really
Um,
wish he was wearing a 47, but okay.
That would have been perfect. I mean,
Perfect.
at least it's
Well, that would be
you just
Kirilenko.
yeah.
extend the. Anyway, have a delightful afternoon.
Have a great day at work, Faith,
Have
or
a
whatever.
fun
you're
day
doing.
at work,
Hi,
Faith.
Faith.
Go
And
make
tomorrow,
vote.
too.
Go make voting work.
Enjoy election season.
Vote,
Go.
people.
Go vote.
Bye.
Bye,
Faith.
Oh, all right, gents. Let's fly through some of these really quick
Let's
here.
do it.
So David has an ethics question. If you're playing someone with inactive players in the lineup, do you tell them no?
I'm already running 16 teams. I don't need to run one more.
Yep, let them suffer. Absolutely let them suffer if they don't know who is in their lineup and who is injured. Jake, I see you laughing.
If I notice it, I have in the past.
Oh,
Let them
Jake.
know. If I'm setting my lineup late and I see that they have an open spot, I will send them a quick message, but I'm not going to tag them. I'm not going to make it easier, but I will send them a quick message. It makes me feel better about my eventual win.
I want them to suffer.
I always message them. If I notice it, I'm not that type of person that I'm going to be like, oh, cool, free win. Like, no, that the competitor in me, I always want to challenge. Like, I was playing Linda in our Some Bullshit League, and she still had Dak in her starting lineup who was out. And I was like, Linda, you better get Dak out. I'm not beating you with an illegal lineup. And that's usually how I respond to everything. Like, I'm not going to badger them. I'm not going to send them like 8 texts until they get it. Like, if they don't see it after that, then that's that. But as a commissioner, if I do notice it, because I've done that in like our Dynasty League, I always message everybody and I'm just like, so-and-so's out this week. Make sure you fix your lineup. So it's probably just the commissioner in me as well, because I've commissioned fantasy leagues for so long. Like when I notice that stuff, I feel like it's my obligation to do that because it makes the overall standard of the league better with active managers.
So this doesn't surprise me at all. This is the asshole side of the stream. Doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Well, at least we're on the right sides, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, this is the asshole side of the stream. Jay Arst, any love for Gabriel Davis with John Brown out?
Yes,
we
love
said it
Gabriel
earlier
Davis.
in the show. Yes, big on Gabriel Davis. Everyone.
I just want to see it in the first half because I think the game's going to be a blowout, and obviously you have to make your decision before that. But I think he could have a decent game. But if he doesn't do it in the first half, don't expect anything in the second half.
Yep. And then Young Vision over on YouTube. Jimmy G or Joe Burrow this week? Young, I'll take this one here for the room. Jimmy Garoppolo may not even have 50 yards passing. he's playing Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick wants to prove to everybody that he got the right amount, or he got a better King's ransom in a second-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo than he actually should have probably gotten.
Didn't I see that he
So-
turned that into 7 players? I thought that was a.
Oh
thing.
yeah, no, you cannot track what he did with that second round pick. It is impossible to track what he did with that pick. Someone tried it and they essentially just gave up.
That's awesome.
Joe Burrow, he threw 61 times against Cleveland in week 2.
Joe Burrow.
Yes. Another one from him, Jamison Crowder, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, AJ Green, Chase Claypool. He has all 3 of them. He needs to start 3, so who would you start? I will go here. Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They're on the same team. Robbie Anderson, Jamison Crowder, Chase Claypool.
That would be my answer as well, but watch Jamison Crowder because that injury kind of
Yeah,
popped
that
up.
injury as well.
And then just plug DJ Moore in. If Crowder's out, I'm not starting AJ Green yet. So
Yep.
Yeah, I'm definitely down on Green. Watch Crowder. If he plays, he's a fine start. Buffalo struggles against slot receivers. Excuse me. But yeah, if Crowder doesn't play, I would dial up both the Panthers with Claypool.
Yep.
We
Jake, I
hate
saw you
AJ
give-
Green.
Yeah. Jake, I saw you give the adamant nod. All right. We're going to end it on this because I am in a dilemma in one of my leagues, and I would like to absolutely destroy my friend. this week.
Real quick before we do this, Joe, don't we have questions on our doc that were tweeted? Like we can just kind of run through real quick.
absolutely. I answer all of those when they
Okay.
send them to me. So
Okay.
if we miss them, it's fine.
Okay.
They're good questions, so I find a way to get them on the show. So
Gotcha.
Cool. All right. So I have to pick 4 to start in this league. It is normal, full PPR, essentially everything we do at Club Fantasy. Pick 4 to start. Devontae Adams against Houston, Calvin Ridley against Detroit, Terry McLaurin against Dallas, CeeDee Lamb against Washington, and DK Metcalf against Arizona. I need 4 of them.
So we're sitting 1 essentially.
We're sitting one of these guys between Devontae Adams, Calvin Ridley, Terry McLaurin, CeeDee Lamb, and DK Metcalf. All of them top 20 receivers.
Yeah, so based
in my
on
league.
as crazy as it sounds, CeeDee Lamb would be the one I'm benching there, and that's more of an indictment on Andy Dalton than it is CeeDee Lamb.
Was this just a brag? Was this question
Right?
just
That's
a
kinda
brag?
what I
Like,
feel
look
like.
at how good my team is, you guys.
I mean,
Joe, we know where you're leaning. Just sit DK. You're
I
the
know.
one that has him as a downside this week.
I wanted to get everyone's opinion and brag a little bit.
Can I ask
Your
why
plan was
you?
about bragging.
Why specifically DK? Because I forget, or I
Yeah,
wasn't
no, that's
a part
okay.
of it because my internet cut out.
No, that's okay. I have DK as a downside because I've seen what Patrick Peterson did to Amari Cooper last week. Again, there's not going to be garbage time in this football game. There's not. This is not the Dallas Cowboys against the Cardinals. This is the top team in the NFC against the Cardinals. Metcalf had 5 targets for 1 catch and 6 yards in 2 games last year against the Arizona Cardinals, and Pat Pete is matched up against him both times last year. Those are the guys that Pat Pete matches up against, the big, brawly receivers. I think DK sees him again. I think Metcalf maybe gets 1 big play, but I think at a full PPR, like Ryan, I'm on the same wavelength as you, as I would probably sit CeeDee if I'm going to play DK Metcalf. I think CeeDee Lamb still sees his 6 or 7 catches in probably, 12, 13 points. Like, he still saw 7-6 catches last week. And yes, again,
Garbage.
a lot of it in garbage time.
Yeah.
But Washington's defense is still not that good. They're going to find a way to get their playmakers involved, and CeeDee is the best playmaker on that team. And you could argue the same thing for DK Metcalf, but I'm going to take CeeDee Lamb against whatever crappy slot cornerback Washington's trotting out over Patrick Peterson, who's consistently been one of the best bump and run defensive backs since he's entered the league. Yes, it was definitely a brag. It was 1,000% a brag. It's not even a question because I have Christian Kirk on my bench and I'm not playing him. Yeah. So just
Make
wanted
some
to.
trades, dude. Jesus Christ, you don't need to, good lord.
Josh, I don't want any of my friends to have these, and also I get like Ryan said, like someone Ryan was so eager to make a trade that they just said no. My friends know that I don't trade in this league because I love the team that I draft and I play the waiver wire very well. So they know if I'm trying to trade for someone, I'm screwing them essentially. Like they know that. Very hard to trade for someone in this league, sadly. And Anthony, quick one, Josh. I see you answered it. It's between Giovanni Bernard and David Johnson. David Johnson, regardless of the league that you're in. Yeah, David Johnson. Jake, you had him as RB2 this week, correct?
In standard leagues, I had him as RB2, but he's like a locked-in top 5, I think, either way for me. I just am a self-loathing Packer fan at this point.
Yeah. Ryan, don't you have him top 5 this week as well to finish?
No, I have Johnson. He's my RB11. I checked.
Okay.
So
I thought you had him in the top 5.
He's a top.
he's an RB1.
Yeah, he's an RB1 this week. Like,
yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And quickly, the Blurred Lines pick just dropped. I have the Washington football team plus a 0.5 point at home against the Dallas Cowboys.
Go
checked.
football team.
I've checked. The line has not moved, so it is still a pick 'em. It may move to like a +1 or a -1 both ways. Still taking the football team because Dallas is just that bad at football. Oh, and Zach Martin is out. They don't have a single starting offensive lineman. They're all backups.
Against the
Washington front seven.
Yeah.
That team is going to
full of
have
#1 picks.
double-digit sacks. That team is going to have double-digit sacks this weekend. All right. Jake, thanks for joining us again, man.
Yeah,
We
thanks, buddy.
appreciate it.
Great.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, guys.
This
Yes.
was fun. Welcome back anytime with you and your impressions. This was awesome.
Thanks.
If you missed the show on Wednesday, you got to see Jake for about half of it. Then his internet said, no, Jake. No, not today.
No,
But you can find that back anywhere you listen to podcasts, YouTube as well. It's over on our YouTube page. We will be back, of course, on Wednesday. We have some low-name person named Stepmom Lauren Carpenter, joining us week 8. Just, the cash fantasy football writer, RotoViz writer.
She doesn't
What else
write
does she
for
write?
RotoViz.
Yeah.
Oh,
small
Roto
sites.
World.
Roto World,
Roto World, thank you.
Fantasy Pros, and of
And
course
Fantasy Pros,
footballers.
Just some tiny sites.
some tiny names. Yeah, Ryan only writes with fantasy footballers, so we throw him a bone and put him on the show. Jake, where can everyone
We have to
find?
boost that ego of his,
Yeah, because it's not already big enough.
I get really down sometimes, guys.
Jake, where can everyone find your content?
Not at the fantasy footballers, I'll tell you that. They can find.
You can find my content at the Fantasy Footballers.
They can find all of my garbage over at Drinking and Talking Fantasy Football on Twitter at Drinking Fantasy.
Best Twitter follow you can make.
Yes.
Aw,
If you like
thank you.
booze, if you like fantasy football, if you like drinking, if you like talking, Jake puts it all together. It's a good 4-in-1. Jake, what's your beverage of choice on the show?
Typically, we're big beer guys because we are in the heart of beer country here. But, I switch it up every once in a while. I like to throw in some bourbon every now and then.
Nothing wrong
I
with
think
that.
you should throw in a margarita. Really throw people off sometimes.
I've done it. I
Nice.
will do it again. Don't you test me. I'll throw in a margarita anytime.
Big time. But I want like the fancy swirled ones with like a strawberry on top.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
see?
a twisty
Keys.
straw.
Yes, with the loop-de-loop ones that you get like at the resorts in Mexico. Yeah, I want
Done.
those ones.
My next one will be a margarita just for you, Joe.
I
Boom.
appreciate that. I look forward to it. All right, for Josh at the One Hudsonian, Jake at Jake Trowbridge, Ryan at the Fantasy 5, myself at Joe_Zolo. You can follow Club Fantasy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Club Fantasy FFL. The URL is clubfantasyffl.com. If you're playing DFS, Kira's Cash Grabs is up, correct, Josh? It is live on the site. Go check that out, clubfantasyffl.com. Kira has been smashing it with her picks. So if you want to win some money, go check that out. Kira absolutely killed her article this week.
And you can follow her, Fantasy FF Kira. That's Fantasy PHANTASY.
Yes, you can follow her there. Always remember, defense wins championships. Offense wins fantasy football. For any last-minute start-sit questions, I'm live on Instagram tomorrow starting at about 30 minutes before kickoff. So get any of your last-minute questions in if anything changes. And join us Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern. Same spot you're watching or even on Twitch, as well as Stepmom Lauren joins the show for, no pun intended, Week 8 fantasy football. Good luck in your games this week. We hope to have coached you to a victory.